Trustee Chin-Lao.
Here.
Trustee Aragon.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Kwong.
Here.
Trustee Liu.
Here.
Trustee Wong.
Here.
Student Trustee Derek Shani.
Okay. Next, we do have one comment on closed session agenda item. Trustee Liu,
Yes, we have one public comment from Mike Greenspan.
on item C2.
Correct.
Mike Greenspan? Yes, I'm really upset that when I signed up, there was nothing at the table about the item. What I'm meaning is, okay, conference with labor negotiators. Okay, there should be a list. Who are you negotiating with for this closed session? It's our money. And then I found out from the vice president and the president of the board of trustees that, well, it's on the web. Well, shouldn't something be at the table listing maybe the groups that you're doing your negotiations with? I mean, simple things like that. Not everybody has a computer and the web and this and that. We're all not LeBron James, and I'm going to quote LeBron James from Christmas morning, 2018. Life is great. I'm making that Jewish money. Well, you make the Jewish money like LeBron James, you can afford anything. You can wipe your ass with $100 bills. It doesn't matter. Or if you're Shaquille O'Neal 20 years ago who said he spends $1,000 a week on apps. Well, not everybody's in that category, folks. Now, I did find out that one of the negotiators happens to be who? The building council. Yes, it was the end of the Jewish holidays, and they got a Christmas gift from Mayor Bass, that incompetent mayor of L.A., and the whole city council, and that crooked Kern Price over there at the hearing. They're going to expand the convention center. They got a big enough gift already. Money toward a white elephant. You guys would be way down the ladder of things because they're going to spend 30 years of bonds toward that. So, what other unions are labor negotiators are you maybe doing with SEIU 721? They're the ones who, well, they just got an election victory. Their money was in it. They're trying to run the city of L.A. with the Constitutional Revision Commission. Their money's in it. And who else? I mean, what can I say about it all? As far as I'm concerned, you guys suck a dick like this one. I'm just tired of your highfalutin attitude. We pay taxes. We have a right to know who you're doing your negotiations with, and it shouldn't be just the web snobs of the world. It should be other people. So I bring that out to show you just what I think of this thing. I couldn't even get a simple answer to who the people are you're negotiating with. Go to University of California. What are one of their groups? United Auto Workers. Has anyone bought a car or automobile built on a University of California campus? I don't think so. And by the way, that 721, they tried to shove Hertzberg down our throat.
Your time has expired. The board will now recess to closed session. Government Code 54956.9 D1, Government Code 54957.6. Good evening. I'm going to reconvene our regular meeting of the board at 6:16 p.m. For report of action in closed session. And the Board of Trustees in closed session approved the following motion. In consideration of plaintiff's dismissal of Martin 1 regarding the Pasadena Area Community College District Sacramento Superior Court case number 34-2022-00328402 with prejudice, and if necessary, the court accepting the motion to dismiss with prejudice, the district will also jointly file its dismissal regarding its pending motion for attorney fees in Martin 1 with prejudice. This passed unanimously. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Chin Lau.
Here.
Trustee Aragon.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Kwong.
Here.
Trustee Liu.
Here.
Trustee Wong.
Here.
Student Trustee Derek Shani.
Here.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we do our land acknowledgement, I believe we have a public comment on our land acknowledgement.
Yes, we have one public comment from D.
Hi, I'm a Pasadena City College alumnus here today to stop the paper genocide of foundational Black Americans and to properly recognize and accurately identify the formerly enslaved free colored persons and American freedmen and their descendants. The statements that are currently printed on the PCC land acknowledgement refer to a legacy of an African diaspora and brown people. This is 100% false and purposefully implanted to erase the legacy, lineage, and identity of the copper-colored indigenous American Indian, Negro, Aborigines of North America. Now I will read a revised version of the PCC land acknowledgement to petition a motion from the PCC Board of Trustees to replace the current document. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Xichicanga Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight, we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy and lineage of foundational Black Americans and recognize that the United States as we know it was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully captured, imprisoned, and enslaved Solani people. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of the descendants of American freedmen and all copper-colored indigenous American Indian, Negro, Aborigines that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, students, and alumni, that would be me, recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about true histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Thanks.
That concludes public comment on this agenda item.
On this item, thank you very much, Trustee Liu. For our land acknowledgement, I'll read our land acknowledgement. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Xichicanga Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight, we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy of the African diaspora and recognize that the United States, as we know it, was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully enslaved Black people. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of many Black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history, and to affirm a commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Trustee Gibson, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes, please stand. Let's begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda tonight?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Liu. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Aragon. Discussion. Okay, we'll move to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Next, I don't believe we have any introductions or recognitions today. Okay. And then next, we have public comment on non-agenda items. Colleagues, I believe we do have a number of comments today across our various items.
Yeah, I'd like to make a proposal to limit public comments to 2 minutes.
2 minutes
Per speaker.
Per speaker, okay. Do I have a second?
I second that.
That's seconded by Trustee Silver. Any discussion on this? Okay, I appreciate the effort to make sure everybody has time to speak. Okay, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
That passes, thank you. Okay, so for our public comments tonight, I'll just go over how we manage our public comments. This is the time and place for members of the public to address the board on items that are not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Under state law, comments are to be directed to the board, not to staff or other members of the public, and state law prohibits the board from discussing or acting on any issue not on the agenda. Under the board's bylaws, meetings of the board are to be held in a civil, orderly, and respectful manner, and disrupting, disturbing, or otherwise impeding the orderly conduct of the meeting and or physical violence or threats of physical violence directed toward any person or property are expressly prohibited. The board deeply respects the First Amendment rights that apply during public comment. However, speakers are also cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding another person simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. In addition, personnel matters are confidential, and persons who have complaints against employees of the district are encouraged to seek resolution of those complaints by utilizing established complaint procedures rather than orally addressing them at a meeting. The board assumes no responsibility for a speaker's liability or of any intentionally false or defamatory comments the speaker may make regarding any person during the opportunity for public comment. And as a reminder, under our bylaws, the cumulative time across an entire meeting for members of the public to speak is 10 minutes per person cumulatively. And so if you have more than a number of comments, we will be working to track to make sure that it's within the 10-minute limit. Okay, thank you for that introduction. We'll now go to Trustee Liu to manage public comment. And for the 2 minutes, are we able? Yeah, we're doing 2 minutes. You'll see a timer on the screen, which you'll follow instead of the lights because we're doing 2 minutes.
First public comment from Mike Greenspan. Next public comment, Rosa Roscoe.
Okay, hi. Good evening. My name is Rosa Orozco. I'm working for Pasadena City College from 2018. I would like to thank you to the police department for what they do to protect the community and to protect the staff and the student. So the community as affected and the community continue to act in violence. The beautiful area of Pasadena, we cannot help it about, increase the homeless and the transients. These people, they screaming and they yelling and they anger because I don't know why. I work in the village. The village, I have to look around me all the time because I afraid that they're gonna harm me. This is not only in the village, it's all around the campus. So myself, so individual harm me. I have witnessed yelling and screaming. Now another thing it is, we have the presence of the police, campus police is not present as much as the homeless. Why is that? I don't know. They cut the hour for the police. I don't know why they refuse to become a campus police. I know that they have the ability to carry weapons. They don't care nothing. They cannot protect themselves. They cannot protect anyone. I don't have no idea why the board is not allowed to the police carry the necessary weapon to protect themselves and to protect the student and the staff. None of the students need to be a fear why they become,
Thank you, your time has
victim.
elapsed.
What?
Thank you, your time has elapsed.
Yeah. Okay, so the seat.
Yes, thank you for your time. We'll move on to the next public comment. Next public comment from Mr. Patel.
Good evening. Case number 223, CV02427, KKJPR for the record. Gabriela Leos, a plaintiff versus the City of Omani, Jessica Anacuna, spelled Ancona. It's unbelievable that we have people in our community that represent us, and they're allowed to use gang members to protect them from people like you in the crowd, from people outside who have no idea that we have a criminal organized institution depending on La Flores gang of El Monte, and we have the other woman in Cudahy, Cynthia Gonzalez with a PhD. Now, I hope you learned from this lesson about corruption, that it's real, and that the people sitting beside me, the audience listening, and to you young people in college have to understand, when do you get out of the problem and become a solution to these problems? You're not going to sit here and believe every word each and every individual says to you is correct or true. I just read you a case. A standing mayor using gang members to threaten the public for retaliation and intimidation on the complaint of retaliatory action under 42 U.S.C. 1983, and also violation of California Civil Code 52.1. So if you want to put your trust in Gavin Newsom, if you want to put your trust in failures of mayors with their crisis on homelessness and vets living in streets, you ought to go to court and listen what David O. Carter has to say. For the record, 42 U.S.C. 1983, politely, fuck you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your time has elapsed.
You could just leave it at the table there, collect it later. Like just on the side there, yeah. No, just leave it there. We'll
Thank you. Next public comment from Lorenzo Cervantes.
Should I wait for? Okay. Okay. I'll go when I see the timer. Sorry. Okay. Hi everyone. My name's Lorenzo Cervantes. I graduated from Pasadena City College Upward Bound program in 2017. I was a part of the program for 4 years, and it changed my life. It's the reason that I attended and graduated from Stanford University. I got into UCLA, Berkeley, Carnegie Mellon, Johns Hopkins. I did not get into Yale, Cornell, et cetera, and a whole bunch of other schools. And the main reason for that is because of the Upward Bound program. This program has been cut due to the Trump administration and federal funds cutting this program. So I'm just coming here to highlight that issue and really come up with unique and creative solutions for us to figure out how we can fund this for underrepresented communities to continue to pursue higher education. The statistics show the program was working, right? Like I was raised by a single mom, low income. We moved around a couple times, and I graduated from Stanford and have been able to achieve economic mobility. I worked at Facebook. I'm now a fundraiser in downtown LA. And I just hope that we can continue to provide those opportunities for other students here. I understand that there's a lot of other programs that are going to continue to try to fill that void, but this one was already working well. It was a family. Like, I'm still friends with a lot of those people, David, Christian, Orine, Gabby, et cetera, and a lot of other folks, Raul. And we continue to have each other's backs today. I think that right now is a moment to fight back against the current administration. It's not enough for us to just accept whatever the status quo is right now. We are world makers, and we get to figure out what kind of world we want to live in, and it should be one in which everyone has an opportunity to achieve higher education. And this program was one that was achieving that. I'll yield the last 15. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, and for what it's worth, I think Stanford is better than Yale. Next public comment from D.
Hi. Throughout the school year, I have seen that Pasadena City College has consistently and correctly recognized the history and heritage months of almost every national monthly observance except one. I find it strange that only one national monthly observance has continued to be misrepresented, co-opted, and even misnamed. As the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice Department at PCC continues to strive to keep its promise, I would point out to the Pasadena City College President, Board of Trustees, Associated Students, alumni, faculty, and staff that there is no diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice without equality as its foundation. Equality for all citizens is what ethnic Black Americans have always asked for. It's documented throughout United States history. So when the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, formerly known as Negro History Week, is observed here at Pasadena City College this coming February in 2026, us ethnic Black Americans who are foundational to the United States in every way demand that our month of recognition is equally, accurately, and correctly named as National Black History Month and presented with the United States of America stars and stripes, Star-Spangled Banner, red, white, and blue flag. Anything else would be racist and political propaganda of a colonial institution to ethnically, politically, and socially erase ethnic Black Americans from our American history, legacy, and lineage. Black History Month has, is, and will always be about Black American history. This is an American tradition.
Thank you. Next public comment from Professor Michelson.
Hello, I'm here to ask you to ensure that PCC do more to reduce this environmental footprint. I've contacted you and spoken here many times about this. I'm referring to the Community Education Center satellite campus on Foothill that's getting short shrifted, as well as the 2024 Facilities Master Plan update. With the thousands of both students and faculty and employees at the Foothill campus, we still have nowhere to charge electric vehicles. Almost like a slap in the face, last year, Facilities took over one of the very few staff spots, labeled it for facilities only, put a charger on the wall just for them. Needless to say, that spot was always empty, and if another PCC employee parked there, they got ticketed. Also conspicuously missing from the CEC campus is recycling bins. Not in our classrooms, not in our offices, and not in our hallways or quad. There are 4 in the back student break room, but they're not labeled, so students throw whatever in there. In our classrooms, our garbage bins are full of plastic bottles mixed with paper. 8 months ago, I made a formal request to Facilities, but nothing happened. Last month, I emailed you about this and sent photos of all the recycling bins that are here at this campus, so this shouldn't be this hard to separate our trash. Finally, PCC should be modeling environmental sensitivity by repurposing what we can, not demolishing buildings like the W building and the historic L building, designed by a famous architect. You were given no data to support your decisions, no data saying either one is unsafe or meriting a complete demolition or even necessary, yet you made the decision anyway. You kicked out the dance students from the entire second floor from their preferred studio spaces, kicked out the 10 faculty from their preferred office spaces, and then locked up the building. This spring, I put in a request to bring some of the poster boards from the W building to the CEC for our classrooms to hang student work and announcements, but I was told we need to buy new ones. This is being wasteful with taxpayer money and not doing due diligence to protect the environment. Please be proactive and ensure we see changes as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Teresa Wong.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I hope you all are well. I am a second year at PCC, and I run the Environmental Sustainability Club. I would like to bring to the board's attention a bill, Senate Bill 684, or the CA Polluters Pay Climate Superfund Act. If passed, this bill would create a super fund financed by major polluters that would contribute toward climate recovery and resiliency projects, such as electrified public transit, AC systems to prepare for extreme heat, and rebuilding efforts for past and future climate disasters. Pasadena and Altadena are not prepared for another Eden. Taxpayers cannot afford to cover the $250 billion in damages from the LA wildfires alone. We invite you to sign onto the EOPA open letter for public officials. Your support will reaffirm your commitment to Pasadena residents and the future of students. Additionally, over 60 city resolutions are underway. The LA Board of Supervisors has already endorsed this bill. And for those watching, we will be at City Hall this Monday at 6 p.m. to push for a Pasadena-based resolution of this bill. And finally, I end with this. I personally know many students, faculty, and staff who were affected by the Eden fires. I know trustee member Steve Gibson actually lost his home. And this bill, we need to garner as much support as we can, not only for the future of California cities, but also the future of generations to come. And so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And the last public comment, the individual wearing the pink sweater in the front row.
Good morning. My name is Professional Sexual Harassment. So let's talk about political violence. So recently, the national headline is about the murder of Charlie Kirk. And then it really surprises me that the PCC administration did not send any email bomb. What I mean by that is I remember in 2020, five-time criminal George Floyd, when he was killed, and I remember the PCC administration sending email over email. You need a mental health support, you need a food, you need a personal counseling, you need a psychological services, over and over again. Probably because that individual is Democrat, but probably because this individual is a Republican. I don't see the difference between the two because I see one is a white man with 0 criminal record, and I see another one is a black man with was arrested by the law enforcement 5 times. So I see a clear difference between the treatment, the communication that was done by the PCC administration, thanks to our amazing Superintendent Jose Gamaz. So I just want to know, many times that I learned from our superintendent that white silence is white silence is white violence. So right now, I'm just want to ask you that your silence towards political assassination, is that violence or is that some sort of a supportive measure? I couldn't understand that. During the George Floyd looting, rioting event in 2020, in one city, Los Angeles alone, more than 2.5 property damages. But somehow, this weird political party, Republican Party, when one of their key members was assassinated, 0 looting, 0 rioting, 0 property damages. So I'm really very proud of what they did. Thank you.
And that concludes public comment on non-agenda items.
Thank you. And I understand we'll have comments on other items, correct, Trustee Liu?
Correct.
Thank you. We'll make sure we take those up in turn as we go from each item to each item. Okay. Next is approval of the minutes of the Board of Trustees regular business meeting, number 24. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, I'll give it to the student trustee.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Any discussion? We'll go to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any board committees reporting out?
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
I do.
Trustee Liu.
The facilities subcommittee met earlier last week, and we had a really productive discussion on the agenda item that we'll be considering today, the Community Workforce Education Agreement. We'll discuss in more detail, so I'll keep it brief, but the committee unanimously supported it. I think it's a very innovative workforce education agreement and excited for us to consider it as a full board soon.
Thank you, Trustee Liu. And thank you to the Facilities Committee. Okay, we're going to now move to our combined consent calendar. But before we take a vote on this, Trustee Liu, I understand we have a number of comments on various items.
Correct.
Would you be willing to pull
Yeah.
those items just to be heard, only to be heard? Yeah.
Yeah, so those items are F1, G4 and 5, H1, I3, I10, and I17.
Okay, so can I then have a motion from one of my colleagues to approve the rest of the consent calendar, but severing those items so they can be heard for public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Chen Lao. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by our student trustee. Okay, we'll go to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the rest of the consent calendar has passed, except for items F1, G4 and 5, H1, I3, I10, I17, just because we have public comments on those items. And so we'll take those up in turn. And just a reminder to our audience who have comments, the time limit still applies, and we are keeping track of those. Trustee Liu.
Yes, we have one comment on F1 from the individual who was wearing the pink sweater.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Andrew Jonas. My name is five-time criminal. So this item is about a Lancer Care Basic Needs, which is an absolutely failure program. So number one, the students probably needs that, what I call immigration legal defense. But I'm aware that PCC does not have a plan for that. Because if tomorrow ICE agent showed up on campus, take someone away, Jose Gamaz does not have a plan. Let's ask Jose Gamaz, what is his plan? Number two, during the current Medi-Cal cut, and I'm assuming, I don't know how many PCC students are actually rely on the California, the so-called Medi-Cal, or maybe they call it Obamacare, those kind of free healthcare insurance. And then it is an estimated more than 20 million people, low income in California, will lose their healthcare. And then let's just ask our superintendent, what is your plan? This is, I believe that this is absolutely the best example of basic needs. Number three is about right now the Supreme Court ruling just ruled that the Trump administration has the right to stop any SNAP benefit and the CalFresh benefit. So I do not know how many PCC students are struggling about food and about shelter, about every other sort of basic needs. So if a student go to Jose Gamaz right now, Mr. Superintendent, where can I get some food? And I really want to know. Let's ask our superintendent, what is your plan? So I can give you, I was never informed I only have 2 minutes thanks to our Jose Gamaz, give me a last minute notification, but I can give you a list of 10 basic needs, and then I just want to know, do you have a plan? Because students are afraid to go to school. They're afraid that they are being arrested by ICE. They don't have a medical insurance. What happens? They get an injury in the big gym. They don't have enough food. How are they able to pay attention in the class if they're hungry?
Thank you.
And Trustee Liu, let's just hear all the items that we have comments for from the consent calendar, and then we can vote on these as a batch.
Got it. The next public comment is on items G4 and 5 collectively from Mr. Patel.
Soccer can be a violent game of pushing, shoving, and tripping. However, here at Pasadena City College, in the past few months, I've heard a rumor, whether it's true or not, that a black athlete and a white athlete got into a scuffle over a symbol. I think the public should be aware of this. I think pushing and shoving is a man's game. And if you can't take it, it's like the prior impermissible restraint the chairman said. We condone the language. We condone certain things people say. Well, I believe in the Constitution that every man, woman, soccer player, black athlete, white athlete has the same right to defend themselves, whether it's political or whether it's an interpretation that was construed to be misunderstood. Now, let me put you in the scenario. If I were playing soccer and someone shoved me down, I'd be back in the game putting an elbow in that guy's face. If not, maybe I'd be behind him, kicking him to the ground accidentally and apologizing, whether or not soccer is a woman's game or a man's game. But in the reality of what's happening in society today, that if two individuals can't get through a conversation over a symbol, which I heard was it a SWAT sticker they were fighting over? I don't know. But on the basis of that condition and the multiple ideas that come from it, once again, 42 U.S.C. 1983 politely, fuck you.
Thank you. All right, the next public comment is on item H1. Mr. Patel, you have the floor again. I'm sorry, what did you say? This is on item H1.
I can't see him.
Approval of independent contractors and trainers. What does this mean in plain English? That I go to college, I get my degrees, I get my certificates by state qualifications, and I can't get a fucking job. Ain't that right? I go to college, I pass the course, I pay for tuition, and I can't get a fucking job.
Next public comment on item I3 from the individual who's wearing the pink sweater.
Good morning. My name is Professional Rapist. Item number 3 is about a security camera system, which is something I advocated probably, let's just say 3-4 years ago, probably before our Superintendent Jose Gamaz was assisting Hamas. But anyway, long story short, I advocated for a whole security system. I advocated for all of the more civilians because there are so many incidents. I reported to the police or maybe so-called correct channel and then received no response. Jose Gamaz talked about someone get rid of the LGBT flag. Does Jose Gamaz has an update? Jose Gamaz said there's a bathroom, there's an N-word, there's a swastika in the bathroom. Does Jose Gamaz catch those criminals? Jose Gamaz said there's students fighting, and then the white student was using the N-word against the black students, some sort of physical fight. And then let's just say, Jose Gamaz, did we get anyone? So all of those failures in the security system are designed to be a failure, because I advocated a long time ago. That was like Trustee Wah, that was Trustee Osterling, that was President whatever. But so right now, it seems like when a black student were having a special incidents, and then all of a sudden, Jose Gamaz said, okay, we need a security system. But when a biological female was in the bathroom, and then when a black homeless man was entered the female bathroom, when we report those issues, and Jose Gamaz said, well, there's no need for a security camera. We have no money. So right now I understand the security is all about your skin color. If you are white, you do not deserve to have security. But if you have white, the school will do everything possible to protect you because you're black.
Next public comment on item I-10 from Mr. Patel.
Almost there.
Knowing that you heard earlier that I was censored on
You can come up back, Mr. Patel, for your next public comment on I-17. And to the degree you have time remaining, the next public comment is also yourself on item J4.
Okay, and for our last public comment speaker, your time has elapsed collectively, so that will be your last comment. Okay, colleagues, let's take up the remaining items in our consent calendar. So can I have a motion to approve items F1, G4, G5, H1, I3, I10, and I17?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Aragon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Liu. Any further discussion on these? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now go to our personnel consent calendar. Approval of personnel consent calendar items J2 to J5. Trustee Liu, we only had one comment on this item.
Yes, and the speaker has elapsed her time.
Okay, so we will go to the approval of consent calendar items J2 to J5. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. We'll go to vote. Student trustee does not vote on this item. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes
I
unanimously.
just have one comment on that. I'm sorry before that. Just to acknowledge Susie Ling, who has
Yes.
been here for wonderful. She was a wonderful colleague to work with, and I just wish her all the best in her retirement. And I just have to say she's amazing. So thank you.
And I think that sentiment is certainly echoed by the rest of us. Thank you, Trustee Aragon. Okay, we'll go now to our action items. We'll go to first K1, which I know we have some public comments for, so I'll hand it back over to Trustee Liu.
Thank you. First public comment from Dave Everett.
Hello, my name is Dave Everett. I'm with the Western Electrical Contractors Association. We're a state and federally approved apprenticeship program. Under your community benefits agreement or community and education benefits agreement, whatever you're calling it, the project labor agreement, all of our apprentices are banned from working under this special interest deal, even the ones that go to Pomona Community College. Anybody that lives in Pomona that are apprentices that are non-union are banned from working on this agreement. Secondly, the premise for this whole thing is that you want local hire goals, but your local hire goal on this is 30%. The city of Jurupa Valley just got 65% local hire. So if you really want local hire, why such a low goal? It's pathetic, frankly. Unless you don't care about local hire and you're just giving away a special interest deal to your political donors. If there's $50 million left to spend on your bond, this is going to cost $7 or $8 million. Most statistics say it costs somewhere between 13 and 15%, but the city of Pomona recently said it's going to cost them 30%, their staff said. Gavin Newsom's Department of Toxicology and Substance Control said it's going to cost 30%. And Gavin Newsom even vetoed a bill last session because he said there was PLAs attached to it and the PLAs would result in higher costs. It's not a partisan issue. Also, 85% of California construction workers are non-union. 89% of national construction workers are non-union. And according to the the National Black Chamber of Commerce president, 98% of Black and Hispanic construction companies are non-union shops. Thus, a project labor agreement greatly limits the opportunities for Black and Hispanic firms. John Harmon, president of the African American Chamber of Commerce. Another quote. Government-mandated PLAs are opposed by the National Black Chamber of Commerce because almost all minority-owned contracting firms are not affiliated with unions. African-American-owned construction firms are typically small businesses that employ their own core workforce, skilled construction workers who are not unionized and are generally more diverse than construction workers coming from union hiring halls. Harry Alliford, president and CEO of the National Black Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Your time has elapsed.
Thank you so much. Please don't discriminate.
Next public comment from Ronald Matthews.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Good evening. Good evening, board members and college leadership. My name is Ronald Matthews, and I want to first commend the Pasadena Area Community College District and the Los Angeles Orange County Building and Construction Trade Council for developing the Community Workforce and Education Agreement. This is a significant step towards ensuring that PCC bond projects create real employment and apprenticeship opportunities for residents of Pasadena, Altadena, and Sierra Madre. The agreement includes important elements: clear hiring priorities for district residents, structured oversight through Community Workforce Coordinator, and accountability through reporting. These are these are the right components to make sure local investment results in local benefit. However, I would like to note the absence of any formal inclusion of the Workforce Development Board and the Foothill Center, and the Flint Ridge Center Multi-Craft Core Curriculum MC3 program in the CWEA. Both have proven success in recruiting, training, and referring Pasadena area residents into union apprenticeships and construction careers. Their inclusion in future implementation or amendments would strengthen coordination, enhance data reporting, and expand equitable access to local residents. Once again, I strongly support the CWEA and appreciate the board's leadership in building a framework that connects education, labor, and community for long-term workforce success. Because of your strong language, it's young men in the community who are working on local projects and will be working on local projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Diana Limon.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Diana Limon. I am the Director of Women Recruitment and Support for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers here in Los Angeles. We represent almost 12,000 members, many of which are residents of here, the city of Pasadena. So I strongly urge you to approve this community workforce and education agreement. It is a win-win for everyone involved. This will allow you to have future construction that is built with the most skilled and trained workforce, and it'll provide people in the community of Pasadena with opportunities into the skilled building trades and opportunities for women and minorities in these careers that lead into lifelong careers to the middle class with good union wages and benefits. So I urge you to vote yes and look forward to this continuous partnership with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Summer Zachary.
Good evening. My name is Summer Zachary. I am a 13-year member of International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union Local 11, which covers all of Los Angeles County. I am a 6-year resident of Area 4, Silvers area of Pasadena. And I strongly encourage you to vote yes on this community workforce and education agreement, as it will allow people like me to work locally, which is always an improvement for commuting, and also increase money that will be flowing through the community here in the city of Pasadena. And so I encourage you please to vote yes on this agreement on behalf of all of the apprentices, veterans, journey level workers, and everyone else that lives in the region, not just in Pasadena, but El Monte, Arcadia, and Monrovia, other areas that will be able to work locally to home and build something with pride right here where they live. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Renee Palacios.
Okay, good evening, Pasadena City College Board of Trustees. My name is Renee Palacios, and I serve as the business agent for the Iron Workers of Local 433. On behalf of Local 433, I want to express our strong support for the Community Workforce and Education Agreement with the Los Angeles Orange County Buildings and Construction Trades Council, and I urge the boards of trustees to approve this important agreement. Local 433 is currently training over 700 apprentices, equipping them with the skills, knowledge, and experience necessary to safely and efficiently complete construction projects of all sizes. These apprentices are not only skilled and trained, but they are also members of this community. They are neighbors, parents, coaches, and active citizens who take pride in contributing to projects that benefit everyone. Approving this agreement ensures that Pasadena City College projects and associated construction work will provide opportunities for these local, highly trained workers. Also, while supporting the continued growth of a qualified workforce for the region, it is an investment in both our community and the future of the construction industry. We strongly believe that by supporting this agreement, the board will help maintain high standards of quality, safety, and efficiency on projects while promoting local hiring and workforce development. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to providing opportunities for skilled local workers and apprentices. Vote yes on the Community Workforce and Education Agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Daniela Mahi.
Good evening. My name is Daniela Mahe. I'm a first-year apprentice with IBEW Local 11, the electricians union in LA County. I'm here this evening to ask for your support. Please move forward in negotiating a community workforce agreement with the LAOC Building Trades. Please allow me to share a little bit about myself. I live in this amazing city of Pasadena. I was formerly incarcerated for 23 years. I'm an IBEW member by the name of Big John Harry L. Provided me with an opportunity that gave me a career in the IBEW, thereby allowing me to provide a better quality of life for my family and creating a better future for my children. The union not only saved my life, but gave me dignity, something I never had before joining the union. The community workforce agreement will give more opportunities to Pasadena residents and to others like me looking to make a positive impact with my second chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Eddie Alvarez.
Thank you. Good evening, President Wong, board members, President Gomez, and of course staff. On behalf of Executive Secretary Ernesto Medrano, my name is Eddie Escoto Alvarez, and I'm a member and council representative of the LAOC Building Trades. We are the 160,000 skilled and trained workers building and rebuilding Southern California from Lancaster to San Juan Capistrano. Tonight is a momentous occasion for this board, this community, and the trades. That hard work that many before me have done has finally come to fruition in what we hope is a successful vote tonight. Because of the foresight of this collective group, and I mean that, we have negotiated a first-of-its-kind agreement, a community workforce and education agreement. We've never done that in any agreement in the state of California, and I think the country, where we've put education first. At the end of the day, I really think that this is what we do in this room. This is what we do collectively. We put people to work, and then we put them into careers. And I want to emphasize that, careers, not gigs, not part-time jobs, but a real career, as you've heard from my sisters and brothers tonight. Two of the most important aspects, in my opinion, of this agreement are the local hire piece and the outreach piece. First, the local hire piece, as you heard, will make sure that the folks of the Pasadena City College service area will get first call for this job, and also the folks who sadly were displaced by the Eaton fire. They will be the first ones working on your projects. The other piece is, I think, is the outreach that this agreement is going to be able to do. I think I left the whole entire gambit of numbers of what we've been able to do through our nonprofit, the Apprenticeship Readiness Fund, and the outreach that we've been able to do. Something we're very, very proud of, and I know I'm running out of time, my apologies, but is that 90% of the folks that we've put into the trades in the last 4 years have been black and brown. 20%, 24%, I think the number is, have been women. I can't tell you any other major entry in the country like ours that's doing that, and we are very, very grateful for it. So I just want to thank you. I know I'm out of time, but I want to thank the staff, Somos Group, and Dr. Gomez for negotiating what I think is one of the most solid agreements in the country and will be a benchmark for more to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next public comment from Kenny Montejano.
Good evening. My name is Kenny Montejano. I'm a 10-year member of Local 105 Sheet Metal Workers. And on behalf of Local 105, we strongly urge Pasadena City College Board of Trustees to approve the Community Workforce and Education Agreement. I love how that sounds. It's the first time I've heard it, so it's kind of awesome to say, with the building trades. Because of this Community Workforce and Education Agreement, your future projects will be built by local residents, people displaced by the Eaton fires, veterans, apprentices, and folks who may need a second shot in life, and who are starting their careers in the building trades. Our apprenticeship is currently training roughly 700 apprentices, and they need this on-the-job experience. It's vital. Our journey members are the best skilled and trained workforce in the country. They all pass their rigorous apprenticeships to get to their journeyman levels. Your future projects will be built the way they should, not just by the best skilled and trained workers in the country, but by the people who live in this community. This agreement is a game changer, and not just for our members, but for the residents of the district. Vote yes on this CWEA. Thank you.
Next public comment from Richard Chow.
Evening, everyone. My name is Richard Chow. I've been a member of the Sheet Metal Workers Local 105 for about 18 years now. I'm a veteran that also is alumni of PCC. About 15 years ago, due to a similar agreement that the one that you guys are going to vote on tonight, I was dispatched to a project right over here, and now it's the actual Center of the Arts. So I had the opportunity to work on that project and ended up running that project. And I took great pride in being able to build that building. So the current agreement that you guys will be voting on tonight will give new apprentices the same opportunities that I was awarded. And like my long history with PCC stems from my brothers, both of which attended here, as well as myself, and then moved on into further higher education. So I urge you to vote yes on the agreement, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next public comment from Shoti Medrano. Sorry if I mispronounced her name.
Good evening. My name is Sochi Blerano, and I am the political coordinator for the District Council of Iron Workers, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Locals 433 and 416. We are urging for your strong support for this community workforce and education agreement. This agreement ensures Pasadena City College projects are built by skilled local workers who live and give back to this community. It guarantees fair wages, strong safety standards, and creates real apprenticeship opportunities, including for PCC students who want to share and start a career in the trades. This agreement, agreements in general have been a proven record across Southern California, delivering projects on time, on budget, and with the highest quality. A yes vote tonight means investing in local jobs, career pathways for young people, and future possible development in Pasadena. Thank you again for working with all of us on behalf of the building trades, and we again urge your vote for yes.
Thank you. Next public comment from Wendy Ichikawa.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wendy Ichikawa, and I'm a longtime resident, first-time speaker. So I've lived in the area for over 40 years, and I'm a proud member of Sheet Metal Workers Local 105, and I am the longest-serving executive member and also serve on the Women's Committee. This trade has given me the opportunity to live a stable life, and that's because our union works hard constantly to recruit more women into our trade. This community workforce and education agreement would give more people like me the same chance. I hope you vote yes on the CWEA, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Welcome to your first meeting. Feel free to come back. Next public comment, Drew Valdiva.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Drew Valdivia. I'm a 23-year member with UA Local 398, the Plumbers and Steam Fitters. On behalf of UA Local 398, we strongly urge the Pasadena City College Board of Trustees to approve the Community Workforce and Education Agreement with the LA Orange County Building Trades. With this CWE, your PCC projects become community projects. Projects built by Pasadena residents, veterans, apprentices, and people rebuilding their lives through the trades. Right now, over 200 plus UA apprentices are in the middle of our tough 5-year training program, earning hours, wages, and a future. These projects give them real-world experience they need to become a journeyman. As for our journeymen, they're the most skilled pipe trades workforce in the nation, and they live right here. This agreement puts them to work in their own backyard. This isn't just construction, it's local pride, local money, local futures. The Community Workforce and Education Agreement changes the game for our members, the PCC students, and for every family in the district. Trustees, please vote yes on the CWEA. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment, Nate Guzman.
Hello, good evening. My name is Nathaniel Guzman. I'm a 23-year member of the Ironworkers Local 433 of Los Angeles and a lifelong member of the community of Pasadena. On behalf of the Ironworkers, we strongly urge the Pasadena City College Board of Trustees to approve the Community Workforce and Education Agreement with the LA and Orange County Building Trades. The Community Workforce Agreement will create good local jobs for members like me. Working close to home saves on commuting. It gives me time to be a part of my family, part of my community. It also gives a sense of pride to build close to home and build something right here where we live. It's a smart, more efficient use of tax money, and it keeps money flowing in the local economy. The Community Workforce and Education Agreement is what our community needs and what members of the community like me want. So we urge you to vote yes on this agreement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next public comment from Thomas Pico.
Hello, my name's Thomas Pico. I'm a 3-year member of Local 433. I'm also a local as well, graduated from Pasadena High School, and it's truly an honor to be given an opportunity as such and be able to work right down the street, right off of Orange Grove, you know, just as Nate had said. And as well, have the opportunity to come home, be with my family, and be a part of my community, give back to my community, especially after the fires and everything that has happened. And I strongly urge to vote for this agreement to open up more opportunities for people that I even went to school with and graduated next to. I have a couple of my buddies doing electrical work with Local 11 locally as well. And yes, as an apprentice and as a local resident representing the future of our trade, I urge on behalf of my local to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public comment from Elijah Montes.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, members of the board. My name is Elijah Montes. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, Pasadena local resident, and a member of Local 433 Ironworkers. On behalf of Local 433, we strongly urge Pasadena Unified School Board and direct staff to move forward with negotiating the Community Workforce Agreement with our building trades. As an apprentice, I earn wages that are livable. My family has full health care. I earn a pension working on agreements like this while I also attend class. This agreement will allow me to get the working hours I need to complete my apprenticeship and become a successful journey member. I graduate my career with no student loan debt. It's a lifelong career, and I'm very proud of my decision. As an apprentice, local resident representing the future of the trades, we urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your service, and Richard and other veteran service members here. That concludes our public comments on this agenda item.
Okay, thank you, and thank you to all the folks who have come out for public comment. And I believe now we have a presentation on this item before we do our vote and discussion.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good to go.
Okay, Sonia Ramnik, the floor is yours.
President Wong, members of the Board of Trustees. I'm Sonia Ransom from the Somos Law Group, and I'm here to speak with you about the Community Workforce and Education Agreement, and this is my colleague.
I'm Ramnik Saini. So great to be here. So nice to be in this room with you and presenting this document to all of you. Thank you.
So I'm not 100% sure that this presentation is necessary after all the public comments, but nonetheless, and luckily for you all, I plan to keep it short and high level so that you would have time to express your comments and ask questions if you have any. Anyway, next slide. As you're all familiar with, this has been a pretty long process. You decided to explore whether or not to enter into a community workforce agreement a little more than a year ago. The first step was what we call a listening tour, where we got input from you about what you were looking for in such an agreement, as well as other stakeholders and members of the community. Third, as was referred to in public comment, were negotiations with the LA Orange County's Building and Construction Trade Council. However, as was also noted in the public comment, during those negotiations, the document transformed from a community workforce agreement into a community workforce and education agreement. And now that new agreement, of which there's never been one before, is before you tonight for consideration. So this slide, the point of this slide is what we tried to do is bring into one slide the reality that we didn't just change the title of the agreement, but that educational benefits run through the entire agreement. So first of all, and that was a result of, and will be in the future, a result of collaboration between the district and the council and its constituent unions. So first of all, we have the pre-apprenticeship programs. I think I'm going to need glasses for this. Second, we have equity and inclusion. The contract documents the intent of the parties to bring women, veterans, the formerly incarcerated, former foster youth, and current foster youth into the college, the pre-apprenticeship program, and ultimately the state-approved apprenticeship programs, and very ultimately well-paying construction jobs with good benefits. We think that the document has potential to turn the college into a destination for pre-apprenticeship programs where people from all over the region want to come and attend because of the quality of the pre-apprenticeship programs that have been developed in collaboration between the district, the council, and the constituent unions. And finally, of course, at the end of the day, are the new facilities that are going to be built with the Measure PCC funds that, of course, will serve the future students of the college and the district well. Next, the agreement doesn't only have all these educational benefits, but it also has, as was noted by various commenters, hiring priority, first and foremost for district residents, but also for residents of surrounding communities. I want to take, hopefully, about 3 seconds to run through the 3 tiers, just to make it clear that Tier 1 is residents of the district, but it's not only residents of the district, it's also enrolled students, no matter where they live, graduates, veterans, I'm going to forget somebody, and
Impacted by the fire.
And those impacted by the Eaton fire. Tier 2 is easier. It's people who live within 15 miles of this campus. And Tier 3 is basically those who reside in the rest of LA County and Orange County. Also want to make the point, maybe it's not totally related to the title of this slide, but that one of the benefits of the agreement, in fact, one of the benefits of the agreement that started the whole purpose of the agreement is labor peace during construction of the PCC projects. And while it isn't highlighted here, and it's going to come up again in the next slide, the parties to the agreement have a contractual commitment to utilizing small and local businesses. So again, this is just kind of a quick summary. We've talked about the first 5 points quite a bit. They were highlighted in public comment, and I've mentioned them too. We're talking about the benefits of the apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship programs, segueing into having a leg up in entering formal apprenticeship programs, and ultimately in terms of getting good jobs. Second, inclusion, equity, and other community benefits, and reaching out to those who have traditionally been the underrepresented populations. Carrying out the educational mission of PCC and collaboration with the council and the unions, and the ultimate goal of good wages, stability, and labor peace on these construction projects. The three I want to talk about a little bit more are support for local and small businesses, and that it is in fact a stated goal in Article 2 of the contract that all the parties are committed to bringing small and local businesses into the project through outreach and other means. And that means not just as, here, a couple of slides ago, we talked about hiring priority. This is also priority as contractors and as suppliers. I also want to say that the agreement covers governance and oversight. The district will get to appoint and select a community workforce coordinator who will be in charge of implementation. But in addition to that, there's also a joint administrative committee that will be made up of three representatives of the college and 3 representatives of the council. That will be, their job will be to monitor compliance with the agreement and make sure the intentions that are set forth in the agreement are carried out. And finally, we haven't spoken about it, but the scope of the agreement is the Measure PCC funded projects, and the term is 5 years, which of course can be extended by mutual agreement of the parties. Thank you very much for your time. We are available for any questions you might have. So
Thank you.
We'll hang out up here for a little while.
Thank you, Sonia and Ramnik, and thank you to the Somos Law Group. I know you all put a lot of work into this as well. Thank you. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Trustee Chen Lao and then Trustee Kwong.
I have a question on the target 30% hiring. That is not the max target, right? So if you go beyond 30, that's also a possibility.
That's absolutely right. If 100%, if the contractors were able to staff the project with 100% district residents, tier 1, they wouldn't move on to the other 2 tiers.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kwong.
Okay. Good evening. I do remember that during the listening tour, I did express a desire that as we explore these partnerships, that efforts would be made to bring in local district residents into the project, as well as creating opportunities for women and people of color into this project. So I'm very happy to see that there's a commitment for equity and to be able to expand that to provide career opportunities for those that might not find them otherwise. My question is on the prevailing wage. I assume that Section 12.3 on prevailing wage, it's built in that as the wage increases, because the contract is for 5 years, that the wages will increase throughout that 5-year period, and there's no, you didn't put a cap, right, at this time, at the time that we consummate the agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you know what the typical prevailing wage increases typically are in the past, if you recall? In terms of percentage increase, only if you recall.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the specific percentage, but I guess the two things I would say is, as you know, frequently prevailing wage is part of local law, and secondarily, the state makes prevailing wage determinations.
It's, we've heard it's historically 3 to 5%.
I'm sorry?
It's historically 3 to 5%.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Of course.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kwong.
Thank
Any
you,
other,
trustee.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do it. Go to Trustee Liu.
Yeah, go.
I'll just say really quickly, just express my appreciation, one, for our brothers and sisters in the trades for working on this, one, to our board leadership, including Dr. Gomez and Trustee Wong, and Trustee Chen Lao for starting this discussion a while ago. And I also just want to express appreciation for the Somos group. I know we last week went through page by page to make sure everything in the contract was in tip-top shape, and I think this is an amazing contract right now, and just to briefly for the board's education, because I know several of you watched the facility subcommittee meeting. The only real difference between that and this is we now included a map of the district area. We made sure to name all our districts, including the city of San Gabriel, which I know Trustee Silver and I represent, and the other unincorporated areas of LA County that's in our area. And we also made sure to go through and fix some consistencies and some slight errors, but I think this contract is fantastic right now, and I'm really excited for the work that we'll be able to do if we pass the agreement. And if there's no other comments, I'd like to make a motion, actually, to...
I actually have just one other thing.
Sure. I mean, so he can also make a motion, and then we can continue discussion after the motion. Both work. Is that okay? Because he
Perfect.
brought it up. So yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, I'll move to pass the Pasadena City College Community Workforce Education Agreement.
Okay,
And
thank
I'll
you.
second that.
That's moved by Trustee Liu, seconded by Trustee Aragon. And now we'll continue discussion, Trustee Aragon.
I just want to thank you for your presentation and for the individuals that are here, the brothers and sisters in the trades. I know that we had a special meeting last week, and my absence was not a signal of my non-support. I just teach 3 classes that afternoon, and my students know that they rarely get an evening off or a day off. So I would have been there last week if I could have, but thank you again for your presentation, and I just wanted to make that point for the record that that's why I wasn't there, but I'm in full support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Thank you, Trustee Liu, for your comments and your leadership on the Facilities Committee meeting. I would like an opportunity to give a shout out to Matt Gaines. He's not here tonight, but it was 7 years ago when we started a conversation around what this could be. It's been a long journey for 7 years to have the framework and now to see this agreement in its totality. This agreement, in many ways, is a dedication to my dad, who worked for 20 years on assembly line, making $4.25. He wasn't able to have a union at his work. And some of you know that he passed away during the summer. But he believed in 3 things. 1 is the dignity of work, 2 is fair wage, and 3 is education. And I believe that this agreement embodies his love for his community, his work, and his family. And I hope that with this agreement, that many families can have the education opportunities for their kids and even for themselves, because now they can have AA degrees here at PCC and go on to complete higher education. They don't have to continue to work at minimum wage, wondering how they can feed their families. I don't doubt that many of these families are immigrant families who have endured so much to have a better life for their kids and for the next generation. And I also want to recognize my colleagues, especially President Wang, Steve Gibson, Christine Kwan, because we took some bumps along the road getting here. But my colleagues had the courage and the philosophy to want to continue to provide opportunities and a fair shake for their residents, their constituents, and for the community. So thank you for your support and for the vision and for championing what we know is going to be a better community for Pasadena and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Shen Lao. I'll just make some really brief comments of my own, and thank you again to all the folks who have come for public comment today, the work of the Someone's Group, the work of our Facilities Committee, and the work of our staff here at PCC who have been hard at work on making this agreement a reality. You know, one of the things that excites me the most, and I love hearing that this is the first of its kind in terms of the education component, and I think that's really emblematic of who we are as an institution, that we believe in all the things in this document, but we also put our students first, and we want to ensure that our students have all the opportunities that they can possibly have. And we have, I mean, PCC alum in the audience today that provided comments, and we're grateful for your presence as well. So I think that component, the partnerships that we're building, the additional opportunities with apprenticeships that we're in conversations about, we're already close to completing conversations about, is a really exciting development for us in this moment to go alongside the CWEA. And so I'm really grateful for all the work that's gone into this, and I'm excited for us to move forward with a vote. Do I have any other comments or questions from my colleagues before we move to a vote? See, Trustee Silver.
I go into this contract clear-eyed with the knowledge that we are going to pay living wages to our community members. I've had people approach me saying, you can't vote for this. You'll cost the college more. That's taxpayer money. And I reply, it is my greatest pleasure to uplift and support families and community members so that they can live with dignity and provide for their families. I am happy that they will have health care and pensions. In these days of winner-take-all capitalism, it is my greatest pleasure to support people that make this country work.
Thank you, Trustee Silver. Okay. Seeing no further questions or comments, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll take a momentary pause, perhaps, to take a photo, I think that was requested.
Yes, please.
Maybe we can assemble right in front of the dais.
Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, appreciate it.
No break?
Okay, just really quickly, I know we've been going for a while. Do I have a motion for a 5-minute bio break? Moved by Trustee Gibson. Do I have a second? Seconded by Trustee Liu. Without objection, we'll come back in 5 minutes.
I know.
All right, if colleagues can come back to the dais. We're going to resume the meeting in a moment.
I'm gonna take this because you don't need it.
How dare you?
Colleagues,
You want to take it?
trustees,
You're eating more.
I know I have problems with sugar.
hey, thank you all to the guests who are here today. If you wouldn't mind continuing your conversations outside, we are going to, once my colleagues are seated.
Take it away.
Why is she taking away your?
Okay, great.
See, at least I don't.
Thank you all. We'll reconvene our
I
meeting
don't take
at
away your
7:51
food.
p.m.
You did one time.
Colleagues?
I don't do that to him.
Okay.
I think she just wants.
We're going to move on now to our next action item, which is to adopt our student equity plan. Dr. Guideng. Oh,
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Good evening to President Gomez, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and community members. My name is Kuei Dang, and I am the Executive Director of Student Equity and Success under the area of Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Justice. I'm here tonight representing the incredible colleagues across every division of PCC who work every single day to advance the goal of the Student Equity Plan. It is a true honor and a deep source of gratitude to share this collective work and roadmap to how we bring PCC's mission and values to life as an equity-minded learning community. At a time when diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts are being challenged across the nation, I take great pride in serving at a college that remains steadfast in its commitment to equity. Thank you, Dr. Gomez and the board, for being equity champions for our community. Before walking through this plan, I want to briefly review its purpose. The Student Equity Plan is designed to close equity gaps in 5 specific success metrics, as defined by the Chancellor's Office. Successful enrollment, ensuring that students who apply actually enroll. Persistence, helping students return from fall to spring or spring to fall. Completion of transfer level math and English in their first year. Attainment of a degree or certificate within 3 years, and transfer to a 4-year university within 3 years. While this framework focuses on traditional academic pathways, we know there are many other forms of success, including non-credit, workforce, and CTE programs. For the purpose of this plan, however, our accountability is measured by these 5 metrics. If you are familiar with our current 22-25 Student Equity Plan, we made a clear and unapologetic commitment to racial equity, guided by our data showing that Black African American students experience gaps across all 5 metrics, and Latinx students, our largest student group, experience gaps in 4 of the 5. 3 years later, those inequities persist, reminding us that closing racial equity gaps takes more than a single planning cycle. We made the commitment in 2022, and I'm here making it in 2025. Our 25-28 plan is not a new plan, but a reaffirmation of our commitment and a continuation of our current plan to prioritize Black, African American, and Latinx students. This doesn't mean other groups are excluded. Our students hold intersectional identities that cross race, gender, sexuality, immigration status, and more. But to make real progress, we must stay laser focused on our Black, African Americans, and Latinx students. When we design systems that close gaps for them, we lift outcomes for our whole student body. To make this work more visible, we're excited to share our new beautiful Equity Plan data dashboard. And I'm going to just quickly put that on right now. Available on our Institutional Effectiveness website. It offers an interactive tool to look at equity data and student success trends over the last 8 years that you can look at in your own time. A special thanks to Jackie Valenzuela, who's our equity data analyst, for building this resource. She's here tonight if you have any specific data questions, but be sure to definitely check out this data dashboard. It's really interactive, and again, it shows our equity progress over time. At this time, I would like to take you through a brief overview of the Student Equity Plan, starting with our areas of focus. You can look at these as buckets that support our efforts: inquiry and action; 2, healing-centered engagement and a culture of care; 3, institutional structures, practices, policies, and norms; 4, equity-minded teaching and learning; and 5, oversight and accountability. Let me walk you briefly through each of them. Inquiry and action. We understand that gaps exist. We have a lot of data, but it doesn't show why they exist. Continuous inquiry is essential to equity efforts. We must work in partnership with students to understand the why. One key strategy that Equity Plan supports is our identity-affirming student advisories, including a KIPO, Black Lancer Council, and a PETA, which elevate student voice and leadership. Their lived experiences directly inform the changes that we make. 2, healing-centered engagement and culture of care. We must intentionally acknowledge the world in which our students are navigating. Given COVID-19, Eaton fires, the current ICE raids, mental health and wellness are critical, given the multiple stresses that we all are experiencing. One strategy supported in the Student Equity Plan is to ensure students are receiving care and connection. The plan supports mental health support groups, healing circles, wellness-specific services for students, faculty, staff, like our revamped Undocu Ally trainings focused on psychological first aid, all with a focus of connection and a culture of care, and all of which are essential in supporting student success. The third area of focus grounds us in changing institutional structures, practices, policies, and norms. True and impactful equity work requires changing systems, not students. One example of this is our campus-wide accessibility initiative in partnership with the Chancellor's Office and the CCC Accessibility Center. We're shifting from a reactive model system where students must request accommodations to a proactive design model, ensuring that our classes, websites, and digital materials are accessible from the start. Accessibility is the work of every department on campus, not just one. Number 4, equity-minded teaching and learning. This is where I believe we see the biggest impact in closing gaps. How do we support equity-minded teaching and learning? And in particular, how do we support our instructional faculty? We know that students spend the most of their time in the classroom with their faculty, and the biggest changes need to happen here. The Student Equity Plan is supporting the development of a Center for Teaching and Learning, a hub for professional learning and collaboration for faculty. The CTL will align existing programs such as new faculty seminar and distance education training while expanding professional learning opportunities, especially for our part-time faculty who teach the majority of our classes. Our hope is to launch a virtual hub in spring of '26. Our last area of focus is oversight and accountability. And this is to ensure that we're being good stewards of the plan and the funds. We'll be spending this next cycle focused on equity evaluation, identifying what programs are moving the needle the most, where do we need to change or revise, what does a centralized evaluation plan look like. We'll be using program review as a structure to develop shared metrics and evaluation tools that help us identify high-impact practices and continuous improvement. Along with the 5 areas of focus, I'll briefly touch on the success metrics portion of the plan. The Student Equity Plan continues and will continue to support student success efforts across the college, and each metric is supported by targeted strategies. I won't go into details about this slide, but I do want to share that the Student Equity Plan supports a wide range of efforts, including increasing comprehensive ed plans for Black and Latinx students that directly improves transfer goals, empowerment programs, and race-conscious case management, strengthening enrollment, persistence, and transfer. Faculty professional development supports all 5 metrics, expanding embedded tutoring, in transfer level math and English, helping close math English completion gaps, and our ongoing work as a Hispanic serving institution and an emerging Black serving institution enhances students' sense of belonging, which we know is a powerful driver of success.
May I stop you right there
Yes.
for a second? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot here to unpack. And when I hear you talk about success metrics, and while these are terrific and I'm sure valid metrics. Can you give me an example of what does success look like, for an example, for case management? Or what does
Yes.
success look like for
Sure.
faculty support?
Yes. So in terms of case management, for example, we know that students need a student ed plan, and that increases their completion rates. They need financial aid, so completion of FAFSA or a DREAM Act and file, completion of math and English because that's a gateway course. So a successful case management plan specific to Black or Latinx students is that we're actually looking at cohorts of students or programs and going through and making sure that they're hitting those markers in a timely way.
And when you bring this back to us, maybe at the next iteration, would you be able to put those metrics in here? For example, the percentage of case management that has been completed, or the percentage of comprehensive education plans here in counseling that have completed, so that we can then see where the benchmarks are
Sure.
as it progresses.
Yes, we
Okay.
can. I mean, it also depends on each program, and then
Sure.
it also depends on what year and semester you're looking at, but we definitely track those, and each program does that in its own unique way. But for example, comprehensive student ed plans, we can show you that right now, because they do have dashboards that are tracking
Yeah.
where we're at.
I'm sure it's being tracked somewhere.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you'd like to see it.
Yeah, I would like just to see what the starting point is for us right now. Like, what are we doing now? What are we doing well right now? And where do you like to see us go? And what is the gap? And so that we can understand how we can help support bridging that gap, or help remove the type of barriers that you may have with these gaps.
Yes, I mean, we could definitely talk about a little bit, delve down steps on how we're doing that. I think where we're doing really well is our faculty development, right? Like things like course redesign. I'll give you another example of a success is right now when we look at OER, open, educational resources or zero textbook costs classes. English C1000 or English 1A is what it used to be called, is a class that everyone needs to take to transfer. Right now, currently, only 20% of those classes are ZTC or OER. A measurement in how you can see progress is that the next time I come, or the next revision, the next time the plan comes, we can report back and say we've moved from 20%
Yes.
to, let's say, 50%.
Yes.
Yes. So that's something that we're aiming towards. Similar to Stats 50, which is now called Stats C1000, we can talk about completion rates for our Black students moving from, it's pretty low right now, under 20% to, again, like what is a reasonable amount within a 10% increase. So we can show you that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
So I'll end my presentation just centering the voices of our students, remembering that we're all here in service of in service of them and their families. Quotes from our Latina and Black African American students focus groups are embedded throughout the equity plan, and I'll end by reading just one of them. It just feels weird that systems are built in place, but the systems aren't being used. It's like I don't have the key to the system, but you're telling me to use the system, and I can't do that without help. The Student Equities Plan's purpose is to help and improve these systems. The plan turns our mission and our values into measurable actions and ensures that equity is not just what we talk about, but what we do every day. Thank you, and I'll take other questions.
Thank you so much, Quay.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions? Trustee Silver.
Hello, I am so pleased at this proposal, this pathway to success for our college and our students. I advocate for the next time you think even bigger and expand beyond support for faculty to classified staff. I was at a session at a conference a while ago, and the speaker said that students encounter classified staff for filling out financial aid, for counseling. I believe it's 7 times before they set foot in a classroom and meet that faculty member. So I would urge you to consider expanding it to support for all those people that work with our students besides
Absolutely.
faculty.
Yes.
Thank you. I know that the equity plan every cycle is a ton of work and it involves folks from across the campus, students, faculty, staff. So thank you first for all the work that you do day in and day out on this. I had just a couple questions, well, maybe just one. You know, obviously, when I was reading through the equity plan, you know, it did mention that on some of the metrics there, you know, we're not doing as well as when we first looked at the baseline when we passed the equity plan last time. And obviously, there's been a lot happening since we looked at the baseline metrics from before. I mean, there's been a pandemic, and we've had fires have disproportionately impacted some students. But kind of with that in mind, are there things that we've seen that has worked to that would have prevented those numbers from being worse, perhaps, or that is, I mean, because we've made some improvements as well. So, you know, what are some of those things from the last plan and some of the things that were implemented from that plan to this time that were either that worked? Basically, is what my curiosity is.
Yeah, I think Trustee Wong, you hit it on the nose in terms of like the context is not static, right? So even though the data is a snapshot in time, we have to take it into context of everything that's happening around the world, and the needle keeps being moved, right? With new legislation, like, you know, in relation to math, English, all those things. I think what's been working well is a lot of intentional race-conscious support systems. So since the last equity plan, for example, we've looked at things like the honors program, and we've realized that there's not a lot of diversity in the honors program, or we're maybe creating systems that certain students, you know, in particular our black students, aren't engaging in honors in a traditional way that we've seen other students. So one of the things that we've done is we've revamped honors. So if you now see the honors program and the media, it's diverse students, and so they can see themselves in those photos. And we've also hired a particular ed advisors that are connected to our black students and connected to our black community. I would say the same with outreach, right? Enrollment, it's a huge metric that keeps continuing to be gaps for our black students, and so now we have an intentional black outreach plan with an intentional black ed advisor that works particularly for enrollment. So these like race-conscious programs, like they have been embedded now since the last 3 years, but it's going to take time for you to see that work out, right? We've also, for example, you know, hired more staffing. It doesn't always look so sexy in that, like, you know, being able to see programs like that, but we've hired more like ed advisors, clerks, outreach workers, professional experts, and these all are the things like what Trustee Silver is talking about. They're helping students on an everyday basis. So I think we're getting better at the student-centered support. We just need to like keep going, and it's just going to take a long time. We're not any different than any other community college across the state. These equity gaps are pretty much the same at any community college you're looking at. But for us, I think we are trying these innovations. We are trying things and then pivoting when we can. So you'll see different programs or different people because those are intentionally trying to address these gaps and slowly build towards closing them. But it will take a long time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really helpful. I think one thing that I would like to just also request for the next board chair and maybe Dr. Gomez for the next year, I think it'd be great if we can have more regular conversations about this work and better monitor the progress as well. I think as we are able to uplift this conversation more, we're also able to make sure that, you know, our board is committed. It's one of our equities, one of our board goals, and so making sure that we're also doing our part in uplifting this critical conversation. So that's something I would love to see more regularly down the line.
Yeah, I'm more
Thank
than
you.
happy to do that.
Trustee Liu.
Thank you so much, Director Deng, and your team and everyone who worked on this. I know it's no easy feat compiling all this data and planning it into kind of a strategic goal for the future. So thank you again. And I want to note, I agree with the laser focus on closing equity gaps for our Black and Latinx students, especially as everything that's happening in the world. I appreciate that this institution is still committed to that goal. The one question I had is, I know the student equity plan mentioned our status as an NAPZ as well, and this is more of a data collection question, but I'm curious, do we disaggregate data for AAPI students by group? As you know, some of the research shows that Cambodian, Laotian, Pacific Islander students within the AAPI kind of group have disproportionately high equity gaps. So is that something we're also looking at?
Yes, we are. We do have an ancestry dashboard, and through our institutional effectiveness team, we can disaggregate, and we have, under the direction of Linda Lamb, who is now our NAPZ specialist. She has been doing that intentionally with her programming. So Cambodian males, for example, has been identified as a possible equity group. And so we're trying to figure out intentionally how to best to target specific groups that are maybe facing more inequities than others. But again, that's also a slow process, yeah.
Got it. Thank you, Director Deng.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, Trustee Aragon?
Just thank you again for your presentation, and I want to echo a couple of my colleagues' comments in regards to seeing the data, in particular, with our empowerment programs. I know I've worked with the administration before and asking for some of that data, so I look forward to that in our next iteration of this report. Thank you.
More than happy to come back.
Student Trustee Darshani?
I just want to thank Dr. Dang for consulting the associated students prior to moving on with this plan. I really appreciate the fact that you considered the student voice in this, so I'm very excited to support its adoption.
Thank you.
Would the student trustee like to make the motion to adopt it?
I make the motion to adopt the student equity.
Excellent. Since you mentioned it, not to put you on the spot, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Thank you so much for your work.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ira.
Yay. I like the yay.
Okay. We're going to continue with our agenda and move on to our resolutions for the evening. Resolution number 874, Disability Awareness Month and Day. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Next is resolution number 875, recognizing World AIDS Day on December 1st. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Kwong. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Liu. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. And next, our resolution 876, honoring Veterans Day. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson. Thank you very much. Any discussion on this item? Okay, we'll move to a vote. Student Trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That also passes unanimously. And next, I believe we have public comment on resolution number 877.
Yes, we have one public comment on this agenda item from D.
You have 2 minutes.
Thanks. Okay. I wasn't planning on speaking about this, but I actually am a former Black PCC student here that worked in almost every department in this campus. So I am a source that you can contact or if you want some help with getting Black students involved in your equity plan. As a student here, I did not participate in any of the Black groups or anything like that for various reasons. So if you want information on that, you can talk to me about that. In observance of National Native American Heritage Month, I am going to present to you 2 different facts from 2 different states as examples of the racist systemic reclassification that has caused an ongoing paper genocide of the indigenous American Aborigine. According to the Charleston County Public Library, the Black Wall Street Times, and the Gilder Learman Institute of American History, the South Carolina Slave Code, also known as the South Carolina Negro Act of 1740, legally classified people of African and Native American descent as Negroes and slaves, blurring the lines between these groups and making it the presumption that anyone who was a Negro, Indian, mulatto, and mestizo was a slave. According to the Virginia Encyclopedia, Washington Post, and the Meherrin Indian Nation, the Virginia Racial Integrity Act of 1924 effectively reclassified most indigenous people as colored, Negro, black, by legally establishing a strict binary racial system of only white and colored. I stand here today so that you all can see in the flesh a representation of what the paper genocide of an indigenous American Aborigine reclassified to a Negro, colored, black, African American descendant of slaves looks like. Happy National Native American Heritage Month.
Public comment on this agenda item? Okay, we'll now move to consideration of the item. Do I have a motion to approve number 8?
So moved.
Okay, moved by trustee Aragon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Gibson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, it's unanimous. K7, approve and adopt revised 26-27 academic calendar. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Liu. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We have a winter session on this academic calendar.
This is, yeah, this calendar only changes one date.
Okay.
So the rest is preserved from what the negotiations were, and it went through the committee and things like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no further questions or comments, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Thanks, trustee Chen Lao. Okay, next, authorization to transmit our 311Q. Do I move? Moved by trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Gibson. Any comments or questions? We'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Thank you. K9, approve additions, modifications, and deletions to the credit and non-credit curriculum. Do I have a motion to approve?
Excuse me.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by student trustee Derek Shani. Thank you very much. Any discussion? Okay, move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The next few items are personnel items, so student trustee won't vote on the next few items. A K10, a superintendent president's contract. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Silver. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Liu. Any discussion? We'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Thank you. Next is the final approval of the PARS supplementary retirement plan based on the plan meeting the district's fiscal and operational objectives. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Aragon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Chen Lao. Thank you very much. Any discussion on this item? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
That's also unanimous. Thank you. Next is the approval of an MOU between the district and the CSCH 777. Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Liu. Any discussion? We'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
It's also unanimous. Thank you. Next is the approval of the MOU between the district and the SEIU Local 721. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Silver. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's also unanimous. Okay, that concludes the personnel section of the action items. Next is the nomination of trustee Silver to the ACCT committees. Do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Liu. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Gibson. Any discussion?
What committees?
Pardon?
What committees?
Maybe the Member Education and Communication Committee, but it is up to ACCT where they place me.
Which you have served on.
Yeah, I
Already.
may be termed out on that committee.
Oh.
I like it. We do the Community College Month. April is Community College Month.
Yeah, the programming, yeah.
So I have one question on that. If you're termed out on that, would you be eligible or up for another committee?
Yes. Yes.
They kind of place you where, they can place you wherever they want, yeah.
No,
All right, so seeing no other comments, we'll move to a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you. And
I
thank you,
think
Trustee
it's
Silva,
great
for your
that
service.
we have Trustee Silver representing PCC on the national level, right? Your commitment of time and resources have been really, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
served on the
you.
committee this past year. Just putting it
Right,
out
well,
there.
you are
I served
on-
I'm on the finance committee, but I'm
Yes.
unfortunately not continuing. But thank you, Trustee Silver.
Thank
Okay.
you, Trustee Chena.
Superintendent President's report. Dr. Gomez.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin first with an expression of gratitude to our nation's veterans. Veterans Day was yesterday, but our gratitude is every day. Veterans enrich our campus community, and it's a privilege to serve them. So I want to just start off by thanking them for everything that they do. Tonight, I also want to highlight the remarkable ways our students, faculty, and staff continue to elevate Pasadena City College. PCC has again been named one of the top 200 community colleges in the nation by the Aspen Institute. Yes. Right. This recognition reflects what we see daily across our campus, students learning, thriving, and moving confidently towards their goals. We also receive recognition as a 2025 Pathway Champion for our leadership in supporting associate degrees for transfer. Among all California community colleges, PCC remains one of the largest producers of ADTs thanks to strong university partnerships and exceptional transfer counseling. These partnerships are growing. Last week, you may have saw, we welcomed Cal State LA to campus for a full day of outreach and on-the-spot admissions for our students, followed tonight by University Night, which connected students with more than 30 four-year institutions. I also want to highlight the crucial work that our dual enrollment program, headed by our Dean Raquel Torres Retana and her staff. The program is doing excellent work in building relationships with school districts and in introducing students to a PCC education. Recently, a video was shared with me of middle school students from Trustee Kwong's district in South Pasadena who are in our dual enrollment program, which she has advocated for very stringently over the last several years with me. And I want you all to take a look at this video from South Pasadena Middle School.
Hola, bienvenido al video de personajes importantes de la historia de la independencia de Hispanoamérica. Nosotros somos de South Pasadena Middle School en el grado octavo y tomando el curso de cultura y civilización de Latinoamérica.
Soy Antonio José de Sucre. Es el 13 de febrero de 1795 en Cumaná, Venezuela. Soy famoso por ser el presidente de Bolivia desde 1825 a 1828 y por ser uno de los liberadores más influyentes del sur.
Hola, y yo soy Simón Bolívar, el libertador. Gané la independencia de 6 países, que incluyen Venezuela, Panamá, Ecuador, Perú y Bolivia. Cuando la tiranía se convierte en ley, la rebelión es un derecho. Eso es lo que dijeron mis hombres antes de batalla.
Soy José María Morelos, un sacerdote y militar mexicano. Nací en septiembre 30, 1765, en México. Fui uno de los líderes más importantes en la independencia de México o la Revolución Mexicana tras la muerte de Miguel Hidalgo. Hola, yo soy Simón Bolívar y soy conocido como el Libertador, un título que me concedieron cuando capturé a Caracas en 1813, liberando a mi país de origen, Venezuela.
Yo soy Miguel Hidalgo, un sacerdote que comenzó la lucha por la independencia de México. El 16 de septiembre de 1810 di un discurso conocido como el Grito de Dolores, donde animé al pueblo a levantarse contra el dominio español.
Fui militar de las tierras, un líder muy importante durante la a la evolución del Perú. Fui la esposa de Tupac Amaru II y su pareja durante la revolución. Soy conocida como la reina, señora gobernadora o la Coya.
Mi nombre es José de San Marín y fui uno de los héroes más importantes de la historia sudamericana. Nací en 1768 en Argentina y comencé mi carrera militar en España, donde luché contra Napoleón. Pero en 1812 regresé a Sudamérica para luchar por algo aún más importante, la libertad.
No hay otra nobleza que la de la virtud, el saber, el patriotismo y la caridad.
These are middle school students. As you heard, their Spanish is impressive. Kudos to these students for their great work on this assignment, and also to our fantastic faculty member, Rita Saldana, who shared with us the work of students in her culture and civilization class. Mirtha shared that her students were excited to share their work with us. These are our students, and they are our future students. What I see in this video is a group of young students who already understand that there is a place for them at PCC, who understand that they can achieve at the college level, and who have experienced personally the value of a PCC education. Students with these kinds of experiences will be more inclined to attend college, and we want them to be inclined to continue attending PCC, one of the premier colleges in the nation. Which leads me, anyway, congratulations to those students. I am impressed. Let's give them another round of applause. On campus, here at our main campus, last month's health and safety fair brought together mental health practitioners, harm reduction resources, and hands-on safety demonstrations. Student feedback showed that the vast majority plan to use the resources they discovered across campus. Our Title IX office continues to strengthen education and prevention efforts with a new training series on the evolution of Title IX and the rights of pregnant and parenting students. We also celebrated the dedication of the Chicano mind, and I think that Trustee Aragon and also Trustee Gibson were there. The Chicano Mine is an iconic 1970s mural that was rediscovered and researched by our humanities students. Thanks to their work, this important piece of PCC history now has a permanent plaque and a digital archive. Our regional impact also continues to grow. The San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership honored PCC with its Heroes Among Us Award for our leadership during wildfire recovery and for strengthening the region's workforce. We also launched College Corps at PCC, California's first campus-based affiliate site. 20 fellows are now serving community partners and contributing directly to regional fire recovery efforts while also earning $10,000 for their service. And we also had our Women's Business Center completing its procurement accelerator, preparing local women-owned small businesses to compete for major contracts tied to upcoming special statewide events, from the NBA All-Star Weekend to the LA 28 Olympics. And tonight, as you heard, our Board of Trustees approved a CWEA agreement with the LAOC Building and Construction Trades Council. I want to just reiterate that this agreement strengthens our educational pipeline by ensuring apprenticeships and training opportunities for our local communities and our students through structured workforce development. Our agreement helps students and emergency workers gain real skills, real experience, and real career pathways. By partnering with our local schools, training centers, and apprenticeship programs, this partnership also ensures that our investments also build the next generation of skilled workers. In short, it creates equitable access to training, opening doors for young people, underrepresented groups, and career seekers to enter high-quality, family-sustaining jobs. Also want to just mention that our foundation also is preparing for Giving Tuesday on December 2nd. We hope that everyone participates. And we also have another Hometown Legends series that's going to be focusing on a program from acclaimed composer Larry Blank, with participation from our own music faculty. I want to thank our board for your continued leadership and support. Our momentum is strong, and together we are building a college and a community where every student has the opportunity to thrive. But before I end, I do want to just apologize for some of our visitors from earlier today. Most brought positive energy, but some did not. In particular, I want to address those that brought the, let's say, the summer spirit, since they referred to a Jose Gamez, which sounds like maybe a reference to someone on this dais. I want to note that our meetings are about policy and not a wet t-shirt concert contest, and not a wet t-shirt contest for bad behavior. We saw fake bikinis and fake facts. At least there was consistency in their commitment to things that aren't real. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. Okay, next we'll go to announcements by shared governments representatives and Board of Trustees. We'll begin with the Classified Senate.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. So the Classified Senate hosted our fall general meeting on October 15th with 116 classified professionals in attendance. During the meeting, we launched two surveys focused on classified professional development and hiring committees. We're still analyzing those results, and those will probably follow for the next Board of Trustees meeting. Spirit Week was the last week of October, and we had great participation every day. We had Twinning Tuesday, stroll around campus on Wednesday, pumpkin painting competition on Thursday, and a costume competition on Friday, Halloween. Shout out to our judges, Ashley Mejia, Dr. Castillo, Dr. Torres Rotana, and VP Duran. In an effort to celebrate our amazing staff, we also launched a special Friendsgiving grant for classified professionals to recognize the amazing work of their classified colleagues. They can send a free personalized message with a token of appreciation. The last day to do so is this Friday, November 14th, and they'll be delivered by Senate November 20th and 21st. People connecting over coffee matches for the month of November just went out on the 10th on Monday. So if you're a classified Senate, please look at your email to see who you're matched with. We have no new hires, and that concludes my share.
Thank you very much. Management Association.
Good evening, everyone. PCC managers continue to work with their teams in creating incredible programming that serves the campus needs. As you came in today's meeting, you may have noticed the work of Dean Tamika Alexander and the transfer team who hosted University Night this evening in the Quad. This event was designed especially for our evening students who might not have the chance to connect with university representatives during the day. As we're in the thick of transfer season, it was a valuable opportunity for students to get important information and support to help guide their journey in transfer. The International Student Center will be hosting International Thanksgiving this Friday, November 14th, to share this cultural celebration with our international students. Olivia Liu and the international team invites campus partners to meet and share with our students, staff, and faculty in the spirit of gratitude and friendship. The College Run Research Conference is next week, Monday through Thursday, and we are still in need of judges. To sign up, please check out Inside Outside PCC for the link. The non-credit division, led by Dr. Francisco Suarez, continues to have an active fall semester. In collaboration with the Freeman Center, the non-credit division hosted the 2025 Fall Part-Time Job Fair, which welcomed over 670 students. Participants had the opportunity to connect with a diverse range of employers and explore exciting new job opportunities. The non-credit division, in partnership with Associated Students, will host this year's resource fair on November 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Community Education Center. This event aims to strengthen collaboration with Associated Students and introduce non-credit students to the many resources, services, and student organizations available. We want to give a special shout out to Dr. Veronica Jaramillo, PCC's Dean of Natural Sciences, who was recently honored by the American Chemical Society with the E. Ann Maley Award for Volunteer Service. Congratulations, Dr. Jaramillo. Congratulations are also in order to Marisol Jara Garza, who tonight was confirmed officially as the coordinator for the Family Resource Center. Marisol has shown tremendous leadership in establishing the FRC to be a welcoming, dynamic space for parenting students. She's an incredible advocate and collaborator, and we look forward to her continued leadership and innovation. This concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mayor. Next, Associated Students. Mr.
Good evening. Is it on? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Good evening. As always, it's been a busy month for the Associated Students. From October 17th to 19th, the AS Executive Board attended the California Community College Student Affairs Association Annual Conference in San Jose, where we had the opportunity to network with Associated Students from other community colleges across the state. We each attended workshops on various topics, from advocacy to conflict resolution to leadership. Beyond this, I'm happy to report that over the past month, we have had a total of 6 events with a combined attendance of about 350. Here are some quick highlights. On October 16th, our Vice President of External Affairs, Madeline Lauterbach, held a Prop 50 information and voter registration event where students learned about the November 4th special election and registered to vote with the help of the League of Women Voters. On October 29th, our Vice President of Campus Activities, Savannah Robles, held a pumpkin patch event where students had the opportunity to bond and paint pumpkins out in the quad. On October 30th, our Vice President of Student Equity, Maya Rosas, held a Day of the Dead event. We had an ofrenda or altar out in the quad for students to honor their loved ones. On October 31st, our Vice President of Student Services, Maria Infante, held a trick-or-treat event as a collaboration with the Child Development Center, where students led a total of about 70 children around campus to trick-or-treat at different departments. On November 4th, our Vice President of Business Affairs, Crystal San Pedro, held a free headshot event where students got dressed up in their most formal wear and took professional headshots for free. And earlier this evening, our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Abraham Jin, held the Talk About Transfer event, where students submitted PIQs for reviews and talked one-on-one with transfer counselors in preparation for the upcoming UC transfer application deadline, all while being fed free tacos and nachos. The events don't stop there. We have a few more that we're looking forward to in the near future. Tomorrow from 12 to 1, AS will be hosting our Rags to Riches event in the Wi-Fi Lounge, where students can learn how to pay for college, along with getting free sandwiches.